Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video I am doing a watercolor time-lapse of my piece entitled The Many Faces of the Black Dog. Right now I am tracing my sketch using my Huon A3 LED lightboard onto some 300 GSM watercolor paper. As you can see here, there's kind of like bits and pieces cut and stuck with masking tape and everything. It's a very high-tech technique that I use sometimes. I sometimes can't be bothered scanning things in and rearranging it on the computer and printing it out again, so I just sort of did this and cut it out, stuck it back together and just tracing it onto my watercolor paper now. In this video I kind of want to discuss a little bit about the technical aspects of this piece, but also something a little bit more in depth about the theme and the sort of thought process behind this one. This one was sort of something a bit more dark than other works I've shared on YouTube and I've shared online. It was a bit personal and was done for my solo show, Totems, which happened in June. And this piece to me was something that I've had in my head as an idea for quite a long time, and I really wanted to be able to go and to try and get the idea on paper. I'm lining my pencil sketch now with a black pen marker, and I actually thought this one was waterproof, but it wasn't, so that actually caused quite a few issues during the painting process with this one. But I almost stopped and restarted again after I started painting, realizing that the black ink was just going everywhere. But I managed to stick with it and tried to make the best of it, and I'm actually quite happy with how it came out in the end. So talking about the theme for this piece, now as I said, this was for Totem, which focused on identity, looking at the general human identity and personal with animals as symbols. This piece to me holds a personal meaning and hopefully is relatable to others. I've already had some good feedback about this one, some people who said they liked it, some people who said that they kind of could relate to it or could understand the feelings that I tried to get across with this. I'm happy with the faces of the dogs. I kind of didn't reference much for these, so it might not be 100% correct, but I feel like really trying hard to put human emotion across animal faces, sometimes you have to have a bit of a creative license and kind of go with what you feel or think looks best. So yes, please excuse if it's not exactly 100% anatomically correct. It is a mythological creature. Yes, so it is kind of based off of Cerberus, which is the three-headed dog, which is the guardian to the gates of hell, and also going with the metaphor of the black dog. Now, for those of you who haven't heard of this, it's a character or a metaphor used to describe living with depression, and I'm sure possibly many of my viewers might have heard this or might be able to relate to it. Yeah, so I'm hoping that this piece is something relatable for people. And so the reason why I chose the three different faces, it kind of has a comment on the many stages of dealing with depression or mental illness. One face is really angry and aggressive, another one is like this simmering anger or like judgment, and the middle one is something that's a bit sadder, like somber and pensive. Just chucking it out there, like a pro tip, always scan your sketch and your line art before painting and colouring, etc. I didn't scan my line art for this, so that's another reason why I kept on pushing through and doing the best that I could. But it got to about halfway and I really hated it and thought, yeah, oh, I wish I had done this bigger so I can add in more detail, or this isn't working out how I thought it would be, and all that self-doubt that sort of came with it. But yeah, as I said, I just kept on pushing through with it, and I am really happy with it in the end. It's one of my favorite pieces I've done to date, really, and I have a huge attachment to it. Also, you have to bear with me as there is a lot of footage missing in this video because there were so many mistakes, but also I sort of stopped filming in the middle of it when I was thinking, oh, maybe I'll just start again. But I thought I could share something with this video anyway, even though if there's kind of a bit of a jump. Hopefully you guys don't mind. I don't want to reveal all my secrets of watercolor techniques. No, I'm joking. I'm a self-taught watercolor artist, and I do mixed media, and I do have an interesting technique. I'm not saying it's necessarily correct, it's just something, my style that I've kind of developed and I'm still developing, really. Yeah, so talking about the background for this piece, I didn't want to distract too much from the character. I did want to have some cool and somber tones, but something minimal in colour and something that wasn't too dark or just added to the blackness, the heaviness of the piece. So I thought these cool colours instead of splotchy, nice feel to the piece. I did use a mixed media approach. I wanted to keep some detail. Ideally this would have been better if I did do it as a larger illustration. This is A3, it probably would have been good as A2 just to get more detail in the faces and things like that. And yeah, it was interesting sort of mixing up the layers with doing watercolor and then doing a bit of pencil work and doing a bit of ink and a bit of gouache, and sort of building it up was an interesting process. I didn't want to do it completely black, but I wanted it to be kind of obviously black but still have some of the details showing through. So I think I sort of achieved that with this, and it's not too dark and it's got enough interesting elements, whether they're abstract backgrounds or splotches in the foreground, and then some of the detail in the faces. I think I did well to balance it. It wouldn't have been as effective if absolutely everything was perfectly detailed or in focus. So I am happy with that aspect of it. And yeah, so the pencils I am using to build up a bit more extra shade and some details, they are a combination of Prismacolor pencils as well as Faber-Castell Polychroma pencils. I have a huge collection of Prismacolor, and I have just a couple that I bought singularly of the Faber-Castell Polychromos. I would love to own a set of Polychromos one day. They seem like my favorite pencil I've ever tried to use, really. I do like the Prismacolor ones, however they sort of tend to break quite a bit. But yeah, so I really hope you guys are enjoying this video from me and enjoying just a little bit of a chat about something a little bit more serious, and seeing me work on something a little bit different than what I've shown online on this channel. So I'm really sharing something, yeah, a little bit more personal and a little bit more serious than like fan art or challenges. So I hope it pays off, and I hope you guys appreciate it. I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone that came out to the opening of my solo show in June. It was so overwhelming and such a brilliantly positive experience. A big thank you again to all my supporters on Patreon, and of course all of you watching now on my YouTube channel. Your guys' support means so much to me. Anyway, if you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!